Hey, hi, this is Ankit, and I am an AI and ML enthusiast. And today I'm here to discuss on an innovative solution for mortgage ops. It's called automated AI-based mortgage loan verification. So typically, mortgage loan origination is a process by which a borrower applies for a new loan and the lender processes that application to grant the mortgage loan. It's observed that the pre-op stage is mostly manual. Pre-op stages for loan origination may vary depending upon the organizations, but generally can be broadly classified into three stages, which includes pre-qualification, that's document submission, followed by loan application form filling, and application processing. While processing the applications, it is reviewed for accuracy and completeness. Like all required fields must be filled in and accurate. All supporting documents should be submitted. Otherwise, the application is returned to the borrower or the home lending associate. If all the requirements for the mortgage loan to be dispersed do match and the application is deemed complete, then the application moves to the underwriting stage. Usually, organizations perform quality control checks manually by verifying the data across multiple systems and validating it, with various business rules. As a result, organizations incur huge costs in pre-ops process uh, as the process is manual. It's time-consuming and prone to errors. Automating the pre-ops process would, make the process faster, improve the quality, it reduces the risk, and most importantly, reduces the loan origination costs. Today, we can possibly, automate the pre-ops process thanks to the advancement in the technologies like OCR, machine learning, uh, and workflows. So, what does it take, to automate a mortgage loan verification based on AI and ML? So, let's look at the solution that we propose. So, this is the technical architecture of the mortgage loan processing based on AI and ML. So, it comprises of five important steps that are loan data collection, validate customer, loan data extraction, verification, using the QC rules, and then generating a report trying to identify, are there any exceptions in the application or not. So the first step is the loan data collection, wherein we connect to a system called as, a loan application system, where we try to get the information about the borrower, his application, his supporting documents. So once the information about the borrower is aggregated, is collected, the documents are in place, we try to validate the customer. So this is where the first step kicks in, wherein we want to do a KYC check for the user. So this is where we are using a pre-trained KYC ML model, the passport detection, uh, the passport data detection model provided by GTRIIP. So it's a pre-trained ML model which takes in the passport image of the user, extracts the information about the user from the passport image and sends it back. So this is where we validate the customer, we get the extracted information from the ID proof, and we validate it against the data that we have collected about the borrower from the loan application system. So that's the KYC check. Once the KYC check passes, we move on to the loan data extraction stage. So this is where we try to extract information about the application, the loan application, and the supporting documents. So here we are using an AWS provided AI service, so that is Textract. We take the documents of the user, the loan application form, and the supporting documents, and we load it onto an S3 bucket, which eventually is used by AWS Textract to extract the information out of the documents and provide the extracted information in terms of key value pairs back to the system. So at the loan data extraction stage, we get the extracted information from the documents and we store it in a document store system. So moving on to the next step, wherein we try to do verification of the data that has been extracted now. So now that the data is extracted, we want to run some quality checks on the extracted data. So where do these rules come from? These rules come from the quality checklist system. We procure the quality rules from the quality checklist system. We generate the rules, and once the rules are in place, we apply those rules on the extracted data to identify whether the application has any exceptions or not, is accurate or not, whether it's complete, not complete, whether the data amongst the application documents matches or not. For example, if the user has submitted a pay stub and he has supported his passport image, the names should match. So that's like a basic check. But if they don't match, there is an issue. So there is an accuracy issue as far as the application documents are concerned. So there are various rules like this. We run on the extracted data, and we try to generate a report out of it. So we have a list of exceptions that we raise. A report is generated, and we store the report in an audit store. So that's how we have the review, the application getting reviewed. It runs through various automated checks. We are using pre-trained uh, passport data model. We are using the AWS AI service, that's Textract, to automate the entire loan pre-processing for the user. So that's the technical architecture. So moving on to the next, as a part of this discussion, we have a demo setup wherein we have 4 scenarios that we have created. So this is a fictitious example that we have taken of a gentleman named Rohit Saini, who has applied for a mortgage loan. So he's applied for a mortgage loan. He has provided his loan application form, and along with it, he has also provided a supporting documents. One of them is a passport image. We would run the supporting documents through the automated process that we have created. And this is the first scenario wherein we say that the KYC check for the user fails because the passport is not valid. So his mortgage processing cannot move ahead. So in this particular scenario, the application would go back to the home lending associate so that he can contact the borrower and get the necessary corrections done. So let's execute this first demo scenario. So essentially, it's going to be a REST API call. So I'm going to hit a REST API, which is in turn going to invoke a workflow, and I'm going to provide the loan ID in the request. So this is Postman. I've provided the loan ID. I'm making a request to the workflow, and the workflow gets triggered. So once this workflow gets triggered, what really happens when this particular request has been submitted. So let's take a look at the nitty-gritties of the workflow that happens when this application gets submitted. Yeah, so this is the workflow. So the step that we are seeing is this overall workflow is divided into 3 sub processes, wherein we are going to look at the first sub process on the top, that is a data aggregation and KYC check workflow. So let's zoom in a little bit so that we can understand this better. So we first get, so as a part of this workflow, we have submitted a loan ID, and for the loan ID, we are going to get, the loan application information from the loan application system. We get the user's information plus the supporting documents. We download the supporting documents. We get the information about the home lending associated, that is the person who is responsible for, connecting to the borrower and handling the documents. We save the home lending associates information against the loan that has been provided. And the next step is, we scan the passport docs. So this is where we are invoking the AI service, the pre-trained KYC passport model with the passport image that we had just downloaded, and we run KYC checks on top of it. And in case if this KYC checks fail, we send the application back to the HLA. So we have just executed the first case. Let's see whether it got completed or not. We would like to see the status of that particular application. So this is the dashboard where we can see the status of the application. So let me refresh the dashboard. Yeah. So the first scenario is complete. We had submitted the application ID for Rohit Saini. We have the home lending associate's ID being specified, his application date, being captured, and the loan status says that the KYC check has failed, and the reason for it is the passport provided is not valid. So that's the message that we get back from the passport KYC model. So that's the first scenario. Let's take a look at a couple of more scenarios. The second scenario that we would like to talk about is so let's take the third scenario, wherein we have the individual Rohit Saini. We have the loan ID that is suffixed with 12. His employer name is Prime Real Estate Brokerage. He has provided his date of birth. But in this particular scenario, his KYC would pass, but the mortgage checks would fail since he had provided uh, the name of his prior employer rather than his current employer. So as a part of this mortgage process, we want to provide, or we are expecting the name of his current employer rather than the previous one. So that's the scenario that we want to run through. So let's execute the second scenario. So here we are back to Postman. We are providing the loan ID that is suffixed with 12. We invoke the workflow again. The workflow gets invoked, and then the Camunda process would get executed. And why the mortgage rules would fail. Let's take a look at the scenario in a bit detail. So going back to the workflow. Let's zoom in a little bit. So here what we are doing is his KYC would pass, but it would move on to the second stage. So this is the data extraction stage. So we initiate the loan application form analysis. So this is where we are uploading the applicant's supporting documents to an S3 bucket. We upload the loan form, we upload the bank statement, pay stubs, and then we try to get the loan document analysis done using Textract. So these are essentially asynchronous jobs that get created on Textract, and we try to get the extracted information. And once the analysis is complete, we move on to the next step, wherein we are trying to run some mortgage rules on top of the extracted information. So we get the document checklist from the quality checklist system. We generate the rules based on what rules are available in the quality check system, and once the rules are created, we execute the rules on the extracted information. And once the extracted information runs through these rules, an exception report can be generated in case if the application does not meet the predefined rules. Then in that case, an exception report will be generated, and we would send the application back to the home lending associate, who can in turn connect to the borrower and get the necessary corrections done. And in case if there is no exception, his application is clean, the application moves for underwriting. So we just ran this particular scenario. Let's see where the scenario is. In case it gets completed, we would like to see the status of the application. So let's take a look at the status. Yeah. So the second scenario is complete. So here the second scenario has failed because the documents are required. So the application moves back to the home lending associate. So we have the gentleman Rohit Saini, who's going to be contacted by his home lending associate with his loan status saying more documents are required, and the review comments that his employer name, the borrower name from the pay stub that is provided must match with MX. MX means the mortgage loan application system, which means he needs to provide the right document for his application to proceed. So that's why the status says documents are required. So that's the second scenario we just ran through. Let's take a look at the third scenario that you would like to share. So the last scenario is the fourth one, the loan ID suffix 13. We have the gentleman Rohit Saini, who has provided his correct employer name, and his KYC would pass, and his mortgage processing gets cleared, and the application goes for underwriting. So in this particular case, his application is clean. It passes all the checklists, passes all the rules, the KYC check, everything is clean. The passport image he has provided as a part of his supporting documents does match the information with what's available in the loan application system. Uh, the extracted information from Textract does comply to the rules and the checklist provided by the quality check system, and hence the application would be clean. So let's trigger that scenario. So we're back to Postman. We change the loan ID, we make it 200013, and we just say send. So now the workflow gets triggered. Now let's see what the workflow is doing for us. In this particular scenario, a little bit. So in this particular scenario, you would get the document checklist from the backend system. We would generate the rules and we would execute the rules. And once the rules get executed, an exception reports gets generated. An exception report in our case right now, there is no exception report, and hence the application would go for underwriting. So this is where the underwriter takes a decision on the amount of the loan, the risk in a loan, and then would like to get back to the borrower on how much loan can be sanctioned to the borrower. So that's the scenario that we just executed. Now let's see where we are on the scenario. Let's take a look at the status. Yep. So the third scenario has executed. So we have the application that is being sent for underwriting. No review comments, no exceptions as far as the application is concerned. So the application goes to the underwriter, wherein the loan amount and the risk profile of the user would be evaluated, and the borrower would be contacted once the underwriting process gets completed. So this brings us to the end of our demo, wherein we have used the pre-trained KYC passport model provided by GTRIIP and the AWS AI Service Textract that we're using for KYC and mortgage checks, all being connected to by a Camunda workflow. Thank you.